Hi folks, welcome to the Prepared Homestead. This is Travis. Thank you all for stopping by to watch down here at the creek today. Just wanting to show you, it's amazing down here. I enjoy it. It's kind of calming. It's got that kind of calm sense to it. But it's also fun in the summertime to come out here and jump in it when you're all nice and hot and sweaty from working out in the yard and stuff. So it's up though because of the rain. It did come down. You could see, I don't know if it'll show on, you can see right there. See, it was up to about, right in that area approximately, just in the last couple of days. That's why I hadn't come down here, because where I'm standing right now was all underwater. But it's come back down, still a little high, but not too bad. Anyways, I wanted to talk to you today about prices of things, stocking up on items, commodities, stuff like that, supply chain issues, because that's stuff that directly affects us. Start off, gold this morning has hit a new all-time record high. Now, if you've got gold, if you're holding gold, even if it's a few grams, that's good news for you, right? Wow, I'm worth more money, a few more dollars if you're like myself that just has probably a few grams of it. But the flip side to that is that it probably is just indicating a faster demise of the U.S. dollar. I know not everyone believes that, but typically the stronger gold is, the less strong the U.S. dollar is. In fact, just the other day, I don't remember the exact quote, but the Federal Reserve or someone with the Federal Reserve was making some kind of statement that one way to secure the dollar right now with all the problems is to maybe make it gold back again. Oh, ding, 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 ding. Like no one would have thought of that. But the point is that the dollar's in trouble. It's lost 25% of its value in the last 4 years. With BRICS growing, and they are growing, there's something like 36 new countries just this year that's wanting to join. They've been very, very open about creating a new global currency and a global digital currency, and they've been very open about their motivation is to unseat the U.S. dollar. So just put that one in your back pocket. Other commodity news that's going up, cocoa. Have you noticed this? Cocoa is skyrocketing. Yeah, cocoa powder, the stuff you put in brownies and that kind of stuff. It is skyrocketing. It is now more expensive per pound than copper. More expensive per pound than copper. That's something that you probably, as preppers, should start stocking up on if you don't have what you want. It's not one of those necessity things, but it's one of those things that can make life a little bit more pleasant, especially if you prefer chocolate. I'm actually one of those weird ones that's not a big chocolate person. But I know most of you are. I checked yesterday online for a little bit, looking at places like Amazon, Walmart.com, other places to purchase it. And I didn't notice any reflection in the retail market, meaning that it's high in the commodity market, but it still seems to be the same in the retail market. But that's probably going to change. But I did notice that the availability, there were several cocoa powder products that were either out of stock or had low stock. So might be something for you to stock up on if you like chocolate, some cocoa powder, because with the way things are going, eventually the prices are going to go up. People are going to be buying this stuff up. So just kind of thinking ahead of the curve. Also, this Baltimore port thing, I know everyone wants to talk about the bridge, and who knows if the thing was intentional or not. I mean, it's highly suspicious. I know there's been several experts out there saying, oh, no, this is exactly what can happen. This is, a total normal accident. Then I've seen other experts out there saying, no, this is absolutely ridiculous. This had to have been done on purpose. So at this point, who knows? It just depends on which expert's personality, I guess, you prefer or whatever. But you have to remember that is a major shipping port, import and export port. It's the 9th largest in the United States, and it's the 4th fastest growing port in the United States. So it will definitely affect the supply chain. I said yesterday that I was getting this feeling that this Port of Baltimore bridge thing started feeling very much like the stuck ship in the Suez Canal 3-4 years ago, whenever that was, 3 years ago, I think. And at that time, that seemed to almost be like a catalyst that kind of kicked off supply chain problems, probably done on purpose, probably a signal to the world. Ah ha ha! This is our signal to start disruptions. I don't know. Maybe that's too much, but this is starting to feel the same way. And it definitely will cause some supply chain disruptions. The New York Times, other major publications have already been reporting on that. So as a prepper, you need to be taking account of what's going on and figure out, what directly this could affect. Now, we don't always know what indirectly that this port will affect, but we can at least look at directly. Number one of the top things that's imported and exported out of there is cars, auto. So, if we were just kind of starting to get out of that problem with cars. Remember, you couldn't buy a new car, the prices were up, they weren't available. Well, we may start having problems again. I have no interest in buying a new vehicle, but if you do, that could cause a problem. But also auto parts. There's a massive amount of auto parts that runs in and out of that port, and this is something that I often, in fact, just the other day I said it, that you need to stock up on. What auto parts do you need? Whatever kind of vehicle do you have? Do you have an extra set or two of brake pads, spark plug wires, alternator, water pump, maintenance stuff that just goes out? Okay, every vehicle, regardless of how well built it is, there's always certain components that they go out because of maintenance. They just need to be replaced. And most of these components are not that expensive. It's not that expensive on most vehicles to have a set or two of brake pads sitting around, or a spare alternator, or a spare water pump, or a spare set of spark plugs. It might be a good idea to start stocking up on this stuff, because this port is one of the top ports when it comes to auto parts. Other things I noticed on the list, I was kind of looking through tofu. I don't know how many people on here eat tofu, but for whatever reason, tofu is a major thing in that port there. Sugar, we just mentioned cocoa going up. Well, sugar is another one that comes out of there. And then a lot of just raw materials like steel, aluminum, wood pulp, things like that. So we're probably are going to see some disruptions out of that. And, that port mostly does industrial type, components. There are some food products that come in and out of that port, but mostly, like I said, it's like your steel and your aluminum, wood, things like that. So, if you can stock up on those things, buy extra lumber. That's something that I do whenever I can. Usually if I go to the lumber yard and I'm going there to buy a specific amount of lumber for a specific project, I buy extra. And so I have my extra pile that I always have extra lumber. And lumber's not cheap, and it's nowhere near the quality it used to be. And occasionally I go to the local sawmills. There's a few Amish and then locally owned sawmills around here, and so I can get lumber from them also. But having a stockpile of things like that is what we talk about when we say stocking up. Not just having some beans and rice and stuff in the corner, but actually having these other things so that you can function as a self-sufficient homestead, which is something that I promote all the time. Again, there's a difference between your standard beginner prepper, which again is just having some food, squirreled away so that, if things get bad for a few weeks, you've got food to eat. But becoming self-sufficient is really a step above that. It's where you have a decent supply of things on your property, and you know how to make things on your own. You know how to create, how to be a producer on your own, at least enough so that you can survive potentially without the outside help, without the supply chains and the systems and all that kind of stuff. So that's another one. Also, a big thing coming in and out of that port is coal. It's one of the top in the world, actually. Most of the coal that's being exported over to Europe comes out of that port, and a lot of the coal for this country. So that's going to typically translate to higher energy prices. We could see electricity prices for a lot of us, because as much as the news media says differently, the vast majority of us, our electricity is somehow affected by coal. So still to this day, regardless of all their green energy stuff. So we could see electricity prices going up. There's already reports of backlogs of ships trying to figure out where to offload because they were scheduled to drop there and now they can't. They're saying that the amount of trucking that's going to disrupt, because trucks going into that area now, they have to go elsewhere, crossing that bridge that they can't anymore. We're talking thousands and thousands of trucks, semi-trucks. So there's a lot of disruption that's going to happen because of that bridge. And this is something we should be bracing for. Yes, you can sit around and you can do your little armchair quarterbacking of, was it the Russians? Was it the Ukrainians? Was it the CIA? Was it the Chinese? What was it? Just some drunk, pilot, port pilot, or whatever it is. But we need to actually be prepared for this. We need to brace ourselves for the impact that this is going to have on us. And it may be negligible, but it could be big, and it could be the first domino in the series of dominoes. So we need to get ready for that, folks. It's time to get your houses in order and to prepare yourselves mentally, physically, and spiritually. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next video.